A grand rising to all. Happy Easter. A day of magic and miracles. We're looking forward to the show today. We have the amazing Althea on, light language channeler, galactic contact, Ashkic and psychic healer, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini yoga teacher, tarot and divination astrologer. Lots of great things to talk about. I always think about divine timing, and she's coming on Easter. We'll see what transpires, but I think this is going to be a very magical show. I hope everybody's doing great out there. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time for growth, expansion, seeing the new earth coming, and we're very excited. Hope everybody's ready for change and growth and expansion, unlocking their I3 superpowers: imagination, inspiration, and intuition to go interstellar and have that amazing explosion inside. That's what we're looking to do here. All right, we also have our new book, The Rise Code, on pre-order. So don't forget to go over to risemediatv.com. Amazing website. I have put a lot of work into that, and it has so much stuff over there, including the Vision Library. You can go over there and learn all kinds of things through the library, including cosmic human design and all kinds of stuff. So really cool place to go and hang out and check things out. We also have the School of Om on Wednesday nights, our co-manifestation meditation events. So go check that out. Those are always live, and they are amazing. And all right, everybody. Well, it'll be showtime very, very shortly. And if you're watching the replay, you can skip ahead. But there's amazing things in that 15 minutes to showtime. So lots of good videos, past show clips that are very powerful. Lewis Herms from last week. So a lot of great stuff in there if you want to check that out. All right. Well, on this Easter Sunday, we will see you very shortly.
I'm going to tell a quick story about my son that maybe your audience hasn't heard. I've got two boys that are veterans, Marines, and one that's currently in the Air Force.
Oh.
And one of my sons was in the Marines during COVID, and they said mandatory vaccine. So he called and he says, well, what should I do about this? You've given me enough links to study this, and it's not something that I want to take. And of course, same thing, just say no. And he says, well, okay. So he went back and he said, no, thank you. And they said, okay, well, we're going to throw you in the brig. If anybody doesn't know what the brig is, that's jail in military terms. So we're going to throw you into the brig. Called me back. I said, that's awesome. He said, what are you talking about? I said, that's a beautiful lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yep.
Let them throw you in the brig.
Yep.
He goes, are you serious? I go, absolutely. I said, but they won't. I said, because this mandate has no teeth to it. And you're going to find out that if you keep saying no, it has no teeth to it. He goes, okay, take your advice. He started studying more than I did. And then they came out with a doctrine that everybody must take it. It's the emergency use authorization. You have to take this specific one under EAU or EUA.
Of course.
And I've said, okay, that's cool, because that specific one was the core minority. I said, well, that's not in the United States. That's a German product. And he says, okay. I said, so what you need to do now is let's play their game. I said, Chris, play their game. Say, I'll take that one. And then they came back and they go, okay, you ready? Needle out. He goes, okay, let me see which one. So he said, he says, well, that says Pfizer. They go, yeah, it's the same thing. Just take it. He goes, no, not going to do it. That's not the same one that you said. So I won't do it. They said, okay, you have 15 days or something like that to decide, and you're going to take this, or we're going to give you a dishonorable discharge.
Okay.
Called Mom and I back, and we said,
Okay.
no, they won't. Just say, no, thank you. Not going to take it. Go ahead, write the paperwork up, but I'm not signing it. So he's telling. Now, think about this. You have to be indoctrinated in the military, because they do have to have you all on the same page,
Correct.
working in the same direction. So there's a positive part of doing that. Unfortunately, we know how it's manipulated also. So he had the courage to stand up and say, it doesn't matter, even with the indoctrination that was super heavy under his commanding officer. Sure enough, they came back and then they revised it. Okay, we're going to give you a general discharge, but you're not going to get any benefits. He goes, nope, not signing it. Okay, they'll come back again. They kept coming. So he had all the power just by saying no. He literally did nothing except said no. 2 letters, no. That's it. And they kept revising it. We're talking about the largest, most powerful, most sophisticated military force in the world. Keeps coming back to this young man and saying, okay, well, if you won't do this, how about this? If you won't do this, how about this? Think about that. That shows how much power the word of no has. Long story short, he ended up signing a general discharge with full benefits, lifetime pension, and got a job immediately, actually before he left, that pays him more than twice as much for less hours.
Good.
Fantastic.
Good for him.
All he said is no.
Yep. Good.
The power of no. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow. Great story there. And I'm glad to hear that had a happy ending to it. And I think that it'll be a happy ending all over the world eventually with all of these places. It'll be the same thing. It'll be, hey, listen, we made a mistake. Here's your job back. Here's back pay, blah, blah, blah. I think this is going to happen because they can't handle the way it was done. It was illegal. And they know that.
Yeah.
And when you prove that, when enough court cases go to court and it starts going the other way, they're not going to be able to hold up. And all these class action lawsuits that are out there, it's going to be a win for the people. And that's great stuff. Love that story. Thank you for sharing.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
You have inside of your body 13.5 billion years of information. One human body has enough DNA to store all the information from the beginning of time till now.
There was a study that was done with 24 United States cities. Each city had populations of over 10,000 people. The study was done by the Transcendental Meditation Research Lab, and what they showed was that during the window of time, when they went into their meditative states, statistically significant changes happened in the world around them. Emergency hospital room visits declined, traffic accidents declined. The matrix, the field, is reflecting what it is that we have become in our body.
The baddies have been using us to manifest for them for 1,000 years. They know the power of manifestation. They just don't have the ability to do so themselves because they don't resonate in goodness and truth. So what they do is they predictive program us through Hollywood and through politics and all the messages that we get. So through our fears, we manifest. I don't want to freak everybody out, but we manifested COVID-19. You know, we manifest all of this stuff because they throw us these messages, and instead of us doing something simple, and I just had this conversation with people, they're like, Lewis, you have all these spellcasters coming after you and all this stuff. I mean, we had a coven of witches in Anaheim at Truth Tour 2, literally in a pentagram, 13 of them right there in a pentagram. It looked like Harry Potter, you know, they're freaking casting spells at our event. It's real stuff. How do you do it? How do you handle it? How does it not take you down? And I go, because I just say no. Say no, sorry, that's not going to influence my world. It's literally that easy. It's we the people are so powerful, but we let this stuff absorb us. I did a study a long time ago on Jamaican and Haitian voodoo, and because I was curious, so I really started studying it and come to find out what I thought was probably true. If you don't believe that it will affect you, it doesn't affect you. I've had voodoo people and people that have been attacked by voodoo, and they come after me and they go, that's just not true, blah, blah, blah. I go, no, I'm sorry, it is true. So if somebody says they're casting a spell on me, I'm thinking, that's funny, ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? You just don't let it in your realm. Now, I do believe it does have some effect if you probably drink, you do drugs, or you're broken, or you have some things. I believe you crack yourself open and you open yourself up to that. So I do believe that's real. I've seen it. And I do believe there's demons out there. But again, as soon as I feel something, it's immediately like, nope, I'm good. You know, I've got God's armor. We're good. Let's just move on. Boom, boom, boom. I don't let it do anything. So it's very, very, very powerful what we have within inside of us. I call it Christ consciousness. Everybody can call it whatever they want. It's extraordinarily powerful what we have inside of us already. All we have to do is understand it. And one of my favorite words is, and Jarin kind of touched onto this, it's limitless. We are absolutely limitless. And as soon as we realize that, it's amazing. Guys, I just got the truth bumps. I'm so excited about not just the future, but the now. Because we are just creating something extraordinarily wonderful. And the reason why you see all this madness in the world isn't because we're losing, it's because we're winning. Because the cockroaches have to push back some way because they don't know what to do right now.
Yeah, great stuff there, Lewis. Very, very powerful. And the force field. We have a force field. We don't have to let things in. As long as you are doing the right things, your 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time you're in the good zone, you're doing the right things, you're thinking the right way. you can protect yourself from those things. But when you're going to the bar every single night and you're in that environment of, probably in the bars you're going to find the most kind of demons, you're around that stuff all the time, you're going to get sucked into it. You're going to break that barrier, and they're going to be able to get inside there and be able to affect you, certainly. So that's good stuff right there. Very good. Jarin, you had something to add?
I just think that we are a product of the elements. If you think about it, if it's raining out, you're getting wet. Now, do you inevitably have the power? We have the capability to make ourselves not get wet, right? But we're not quite there yet. So every single one of us that I know would be getting wet. So I use that as an example of what's in your environment, in your field. So whether invisible, we could say spirits we cannot see, or technology we cannot see, sound wave technology we cannot see, mind control, those things, or people in your life, just human beings that are casting negativity or whatever. When you're around it, you are subject to it. The most amazing masters on this planet will still have some level of it. Now, that can be much lower by being in your field and knowing that you're not affected. And so I'm totally advocating that. But my point in this is, half of you is receptive. It's feminine. So you're a product of who you're around. So we all want to get around high energy. We all want to get around like vibes. We all want to get around information that is, pertinent and powerful and positive, because we are somewhat affected by it. What it mostly does, as Greg mentions often, is distraction. Distracts our time, distracts our attention, thus distracts our energy. But that's also inclusive to who and what you're around and what environment you're around. Okay, and the gurus know, the teachers know, when you change your space, you change your time. So that can be a big thing, you make a move around the world, but it also can be something smaller, where you live right now. What environments am I normally going to? Or what do I need to get myself out of? Because you are still subject to that energy to some kind of a level. So we want to master our time and master our energy by ourselves, our beliefs, and what we put ourselves around and where our attention and time is on, so that we don't get influenced by that unseen weather, let's say, more than we need to, because we're, in that environment.
Had people, when they've gone through the death experience, they look back and they'll say, it's just a play. I see all the actors on the stage, they're playing their parts. The people are standing in the wings and getting ready to come on stage and play their part. It's just an illusion. But when I was in it, it seemed so real. But now that I'm over here, it's like a blink of an eye. Remember, you designed. It's your play. You're the producer, director, actor, and writer of the script. You don't like the way the script is written? Rewrite it. That's how easy it is to do. Once you understand, you really control all of your life. You control the whole situation.
If you think English is the world language, light language would be the expression out there in a galactic sense. So it can come through and be expressed in many different ways through sounds, singing, gestures, art. It's really a direct expression and connection of the soul connecting through source consciousness. So it's a very high vibrational frequency communication medium.
Grand rising to all, and welcome to another live Rise TV. I hope everybody's doing great out there. Happy Easter. It's the day of magic and miracles. That's right. And we are here to bring you another awesome Family of Light member. We are really excited to have our guest on today, Althea. She is a light language channeler, galactic contact, Ashkic and a psychic healer, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini yoga teacher, and tarot and divination astrologer. So lots and lots of great things there. We're going to have a great conversation today. Hope everybody's doing wonderful today. Remember, we're here to unlock those I3 superpowers: imagination, inspiration, and intuition, to go interstellar, have an inside explosion that's going to just awaken you and make you an amazing, amazing person. I am your MC today, the visionary, Greg Schumacher. We also have the Queen of Dreams, Victoria. How are you, Victoria?
Never been introduced as that, thank you.
Yeah, I came up with that one this
Happy
morning.
Sunday.
And then we also have Light 'em Up, Jarin Kenyon, the traveling motivational speaker, teacher of manifestation, and cosmic human design coach. How you doing, Jarin?
Oh, I'm doing great. Happy Easter out there. Another wonderful day to get together with a brand new Family of Light member, as Greg mentioned. So we're excited to have Althea on for the first time. I know it's going to be a special show. And you're right, Greg, the show, or the time is a wonderful time in its representation of what every human being is capable of, as we remember who we really are and become the light body in the physical form, the light body of the human that can be and do and accomplish everything and experience everything, and is literally transitioning as we move through the Ascension here, just like Dolores Cannon eloquently stated at the beginning. So what a time to remember our divinity and start to practice and learn like a Jedi, because those are not just for movies. That's actual real life, and we get to live that possibility now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I hope everybody's ready and buckled in, has their coffee if it's morning time for you. If you're on the other side of the world, I hope you're going to enjoy getting ready for bed with us. But yeah, we go across all those time zones and all those places, and we are bringing Althea on from all the way over in South Africa. So really amazing that we can do this with technology now. It's so cool to connect with people across the world. So without further ado, let's bring in Althea. Hello, hello. How are you? A grand rising to you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really grateful on this beautiful Easter day, this beautiful Sunday. Yeah, it's kind of afternoon time here, so I'm very excited to be here and look forward to just connecting and seeing what comes up.
Absolutely. And we do have live chat boards, so if you guys want to ask questions, comments, say Happy Easter, whatever you want to do, please write in. Victoria's going to be over there helping assist you on anything over there. So when we talk about Family of Light and we talk about galactic and those type of things. I know you've done some shows with our fun, amazing guest Ishmael from many shows that we've had with him. Very powerful being. When you're doing that kind of stuff, when you're meeting the family of light, when you're feeling the galacticness of everything, do you feel like you've been together with these people in past lives and other dimensions, that type of thing?
Oh, for sure. We've all done this before, quite a few times, I would say. And all of us, you, and all of us who are kind of like in this timeline on the front lines of what is, this spiritual awakening, this ascension process. We've been around the block a few times, and there is, to an extent, an instant recognition with some of them. With some of them, you can really feel like you've connected before, and even to an extent when it comes down to channeling and information and things that come through, there's very specific beings where you feel more of a resonance with.
Yeah, for sure. Jarin, you went over to India and you were trained with Dr. Pillai, and you learned a lot about Pleiadian different things and stuff like that. And we've talked a lot about on the show about the family of light and the 26-minute video. It's amazing, and talking about galactic. How awesome is it to meet these people, and do you feel like you've met Althea before?
Oh, absolutely. It's happening organically, and at the same time it's happening intentionally. And I know for me, back a dozen years ago or so, that was the most important manifestation that I had in the direction of the journey of my life, was to meet the family of light, and I have that statement we put out there before about what we do together in this world, because it's beyond just the individual. It's many together, operating together, and it's kind of like the Avengers reality. Human beings, normal human beings, yes, but that have awakened and have remembered their purpose and are living their purpose and are choosing to live from a much higher threshold. But beyond the human flesh and blood, the God spark in us, the spirit, as I call us, has had many experiences throughout many timelines, throughout many dimensions, and all over. And now's the time where it's kind of like, hey, come back to the ship. We've ventured off, we've learned, we've got it to this point, but now it's time to go to the next level, and it's time to come together again after being separate. I imagine that many of us have had times together, in small groups and whatnot, but not like this time when everyone's coming together, and there are many of us, but we are, privileged to be connecting to the ones right now, I think, that have the most resonance with each other. And I would say offer gifts and offer knowledge and abilities that complement. Everybody's got their specific that complement to create kind of like this song, from everybody's individual notes.
Yeah, and when we talk about skills and all the things that you bring to the world, you have a lot of variety of things. And did you just kind of pick up on these things as you went along and started growing and awakening, or were there kind of like gifts that kind of came to you even when you were a child?
So it's very interesting, because I basically was having like vision and psychic intuition as a child. So I come from a long lineage of witches. My mother and my grandmother, they both had psychic vision and intuition. They don't do well. My grandmother's passed on. She's still assisting me, but she's not on this earthly plane anymore. They never really practice it to an extent, but it was kind of like in my bloodline. So I would see a lot of beings as a child already, and then obviously I would express it, and it got shut down. So then that kind of closed off, and then it started reopening back again up in my teens, and then in my early 20s. And then I had a few intense experiences. I had an encounter with gray beings, like in the physical, in third dimensional density and reality, and that really like kind of shook me, but at the same time opened me up to switch my perception into understanding that, like the reasoning I did was, okay, so if I can see these beings here, then there must be a lot more of them. So why not raise my vibration in order to be in a place where I can connect with them, sort of thing. So I've kind of also done like all the kind of like the psychic work, they're helping the people pass on and things like that. I don't really work in fourth dimensional density as much because of channeling the light language and working with galactic beings is more what I prefer doing, and it's more in alignment with the work that I do. But I have kind of had experience in that as well. And I would say that your multidimensional self and your multidimensional gifts, the more you heal, the more you work on yourself, the more you release your trauma, the more you become embodied, the more soul fragments you retrieve to yourself, the more gifts can upgrade. I like to tell everyone that anyone can be psychic, anyone can do energy work, anyone can really connect to those parts of self and those, beings, because we are all one and we are all connected. And it's really just a matter of practice, like everything, the more you practice, the better you get at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I know that as I've gone along, and done different retreats and worked with different teachers, and you just start opening up parts of you that you never knew existed, and you just start feeling the intuition of who you are. But it's hard to be your authentic self at times in this world. How have you been so brave and just put yourself out there and just been who you are and not worried about what people thought?
So that's a very good question. Thank you for asking that. It was very interesting because when I first started channeling and I opened my YouTube channel back in 2017, 2018, I was actually quite worried of like, what are people going to think? How's my work going to be received? Like the normal human ego. And then slowly I actually noticed that my work would go where it was needed, and the people who were not meant to see it or need it, it would literally just pass them by. So for the first few years, when I was doing this kind of work, I never really got any negative feedback or any psychic attacks or anything like that. But I think it's very important whenever you're doing any kind of energy work and working with other people to really live in alignment with your truth. So always constantly checking in with yourself. Are your thoughts, actions, emotions, and words in alignment? Are you saying something? Are you doing it? Are you doing something? Are you happy to be doing it? And really, really being in that space of compassionate non-attachment, but also unconditional love, but also firm boundaries, because boundaries are, the highest form of self-love. So it comes down to, I think, understanding the depths of self and doing, a bit of work on that trauma and clearing that, and really not really caring so much what other people think, because if I had to listen to everyone who had something, negative to say, then you don't really go very far. So allowing those people to express their opinion because they are necessary, within the constructs of polarity, but sending gratitude to them and then letting it go. I don't really have any attachment to any of it. Like, I love what I do, and I'm very grateful every single moment of my life for having the opportunity to be able to assist on a collective level. But I try not to have attachment to any of it.
Yeah, that's great stuff there. Very powerful words. And it's right in alignment where we stand as well. Being that authentic self is so powerful, and you have to walk through uncomfortable truths to get there. You have to walk through yourself, your traumas, your roadblocks, the people in your life that you surrounded yourself by. Your family could be a roadblock. There's so many things in our lives that are holding us back from really exploding into a superhero, so to speak, unlocking those powers and being that powerful being on this earth. And then, like you said, as you be that person, you attract in the right type of people, the right type of clients, the right type of environment for yourself, where you move, where you feel the energy, where you want to live. That's how that all starts happening. But until you do that, you're just living a fake life. You're living for everybody else. Obviously as children, we are pushed and molded certain ways. We have my wife's son who is ADHD and defiance disorder and all that kind of stuff. And all he wants to do is play out in the woods and just, be this amazing warrior out there, right? And he's just stuck in these walls and he's stuck in these rules. and you see that he could be an amazing warrior, like an avatar, like in an avatar land, right? But because of where he is in the indoctrination of everything and the rules we have to follow in the society, he's not able to, and now he's diagnosed as some kind of disorder, right? So this is the type of things that as we break out of that shell and become our authentic selves and are able to be free from those type of things and be ourselves, that's where our power comes. Jarin, you have something to add?
Yeah, loving this conversation. Yeah, it takes, courage and faith to be yourself. But the irony is, right, the mirror will morph to who you are, who you really are. So people think about it as law of attraction, and that's not really what it is. Again, it's, what you emanating. What is your radiance? You are imprinting your reality. You're imprinting the Maya, the illusion in front of you. So when you are being who you really are, you are causing your field to mirror that, both in like-minded of things that fit, as well as places where you're designed to be receptive when we get into talking about cosmic human design. Places that you're seeking the mate to. All these kind of things, genetically, all these kind of things happen the more you're being yourself. And going back to what Althea was mentioning earlier, it reminded me of like one thing I learned from one of my teachers, talked about Reverend Michael Beckwith, which we're intending he's going to be on this show in 2023, so we can have this video to remember this intention, because we're going to get him on this year. But one of the things he taught me, or that I took from one of his agape events, was how, the more you get into the public eye of being yourself and expressing your mission or expressing your vision, you start to see the people that put you down and then the people that call you heroes or a prophet. It's all the same. You can't get lost in either of them. Your ego can get lost in people that think you're this amazing, this or that. And the same thing with the people that are just not understanding, not in resonant, are there for your reflection, again, to be yourself comfortably, no matter what anyone else thinks. And you just kind of be you and see everything, not neutrally in life, but neutrally across the spectrum. And if anything, your feedback can help measure you to where you're at. It can measure you. Where do I need to adjust inside? Or how far have I come? And, the great gift is the more you're you, the more you let go of what's not serving, the enemies go away, the new allies come in, the next version of you comes into existence, the next reality comes into existence, and now you're even more yourself on a higher frequency and on a higher level. And I think everybody out there in their own level that's in this awakening that would even watch this show, even if you're not out there in the public eye, right, is being challenged in a good way, even though it can be a challenge, to be who you really are and to be comfortable with who you really are, and to not give in to that, but also to not try to force people to believe what you believe, because that's not going to work either. It's just simply allowing everyone to be themselves.
That's the worst, trying to force somebody to believe what but Althea, what is your thoughts on Victoria's favorite movie, which is Avatar? Oh. What's your thoughts on Avatar? Because you seem like almost an Avatar character in some ways. What's your thoughts on that?
That's so interesting that you're asking me that question, because I got contacted by this student who was writing his master's thesis, and it was centered in for spirituality and awakening, and it was actually centered around the second Avatar movie. So he asked me the same question. So it's quite interesting that I get asked again. So I saw both movies. I saw the first one quite long ago. I think
about 20 years.
Excuse me. I think, sorry.
The light language is coming through right now.
Yeah, I tend to clear on and off throughout the day regardless. So all of these kind of like, even to an extent, if you see like Star Wars or like these space TV series and whatnot, they are to an extent channeled. So this is my personal opinion, what I believe. And they come through with, codes themselves as well that can give us energetic imprinting in recollecting memory. So it can resonate with some more and it can resonate less with others and whatnot. But there is always, if you know, like kind of like how to be open, and how to understand, there's always something that can come through from all of these things, even kind of like the most, you know, in the most unexpected places, or the most unexpected films or contexts or articles or things like that. If you get divinely guided to see something, then to an extent it can activate part of you as well. I think, again, it's a very interesting time where we in. We need to be careful, exactly like Jarin was saying, not to get lost, because it can be easy to get lost. It's really about unlearning everything that you've been programmed to learn and conditioned to learn from the construct and from the consumeristic society and from, you know, the growing up, and relearning your own individual truth, which is in alignment with your higher self. And I think all these media things that we have, like us being able to be connected here now from different side of the world, and, you know, this technology that is evolving at this fast speeded pace, we are in a space where you know, we are learning to merge it in a way that's going to assist on a planetary and on a collective level.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I think that we, a lot of times as human beings, we get lost in the evil and the bad, in the what's going to happen, you know, but we're kind of projecting out, you know, and putting waves of energy out into the ether of this negativity, of this, it's going to be evil, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And we're kind of trained to think that way anyways, like expectations, and we're let down, and this didn't happen. And so we have this like thing that's going on inside that's constantly vibrating out this negativity instead of reflecting back amazing positive thoughts and energy, right? And so that's what I kind of feel like, this new earth, this energy that we're kind of pushing towards right now in 2023. You know, more and more of us are emanating this amazing energy, this amazing vision of a new place, you know, a place like an avatar, right? Where we're back to our nature of what we really can be, but we also are unlocking those powers of energy and of vibration and all the things that you do for people, right? Balancing their amazing chakras and all that stuff. So, you know, we have to really continue to push this agenda forward of this positive mindset, this strength and power and authenticity, right? This is where we really need to go with everybody. And that's why I'm so proud to be surrounded by these type of people and all the guests we have on our show, because we're all in that same realm of helping humanity in this way. And this is very, very powerful stuff. I mean, this is amazing, powerful stuff that we really need to put out there. And I'm really happy that we're doing that right now. So, you know, when we talk about like ancient stuff, like the pyramids behind Jarin, Althea, what's your thoughts on ancient civilization and what might have happened on this earth, and how pyramids and everything else got placed in certain spots? What do you think about that?
So I actually had a past life recollection a few years ago that I've lived in Egypt. I've had a few lifetimes in Egypt, and it's quite funny because I was actually in a session and I was doing the QHHT, so the Dolores Cannon method. I'd gone for regression and just for help for a few things, and I went in and I had this lifetime as this noble woman in ancient Egypt, but I was about 13, 14 when I went back into the memory, and they were building the pyramids, and I wanted to go see, but we weren't allowed to go on site. So even the lady who was doing the psychic regression kept on asking me, and I kept on saying to her, we actually not allowed. So I think that a lot of us who are here now, in who are assisting in the awakening and the ascension, we've all had a lot of lifetimes in ancient Atlantis and ancient Lemuria as well. So right now what we're doing is we actually bridging the karmic trauma. We're neutralizing the karmic trauma from ancient Atlantis. So we're moving into a space where, as I mentioned, we need to merge in a healthy way with the technology so that we don't repeat what we did when there was ancient Atlantis going on. So a lot of people are actually having these memories come back, especially now. We just recently shifted into a higher timeline last Tuesday with the 0404 portal, and there's been a lot of downloads of information that have been coming through to a lot of people. So a lot of people have memory, but a lot of people and a lot of star seeds are still stuck in fear because they are still kind of like scared and they don't understand and they're confused and they're going through, their shadow part and whatnot. And this is why I think it's so important for, people like us who speak about these things. And yes, we want to be in light and love and gratitude and compassion, but we also need to understand that without facing the shadow and, without bringing that part to our awareness, we can't really heal or move forward. So what I like always to kind of like say is that you can, it's okay to feel sad and and upset and angry and whatnot. Don't have attachment to the emotion. We are not our emotions. We are so much more than that. Observe it, allow it, release it, be grateful to it, and let it go. So I think, yeah, going back to these civilizations, for sure, like many of us have had so many lifetimes there. And I think a lot of people, a lot of clients come to me and they're like, oh, but I want to know what's going on. And I say to them, like, first of all, have you asked? If you don't ask, you're not necessarily always, going to know. They're not just going to, come through. Ask. And then also, like, I think it's really important to understand that we allow this information to come through and it's for our highest good. So whenever there is like traumas or things to be cleared and to release, then, we have access to this kind of information if it's our highest good. For me, like, I've learned not to have too much attachment to that either, because when we get too caught into the story of who we were, then we kind of like forget where we are. And the most important thing is the here, the now, the moment, the grounding, the anchoring, but having said that, I think there's a lot of incredible and amazing stories and kind of like timelines that a lot of us have lived and still remember them, and some that still need to be remembered.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to work through. It sounds like, Jarin says sometimes that, the people on Earth, we're kind of in kindergarten still. We have a long ways to go with really understanding life and how we can really live our best, energetic, amazing lives. And as a community, right? Stop the wars and the arguing and that kind of stuff. We have a lot to work through with that type of stuff. And but I have so much hope that we can, absolutely, and I see it every day, more and more people asking the right questions. It's the right questions that really get you to where you need to go. Jarin, you want to add to any of that?
Yeah, I just love what you mentioned about, it's cool to understand or look in or remember the past, but I love how you mentioned about getting into the present. And what it reminds me of, again, is shifting an identity. We kind of want to dissolve all the limitations of the personalities that we've had and dissolve all these human constraints of norms of how life is and strip ourselves away and get to our true identity, which is an eternal, infinite, multidimensional being. We are infinite, we are eternal, but we are having a human experience in its limitation. But we want to come from that self through the mind, through the body, through the emotions, which is the remote control or the game player controller that changes our reality. But even though I'm saying that, stripping it all away, what I see is we're carving out our own new identity, and it's in our own fresh way, and we're all, harnessing what our true passions and purposes and values are. And what I know, to me, is that probably a lot of my lifetimes cultivated different pieces to kind of come together to this one that are forming what that personality of Jared is. So it's like, bring forward the gifts, bring forward the ambitions, but strip away the limitations, right? So a new identity, but still kind of all coming together to one, of all that you've done. Many of you have went for a long time to get to where we are now. And you've waited a long time. And now is the time. And how is now the time? Well, because of the time that we are in space, the place in space, if you want to call it that. The light is here. The awakening is on, the environment is set, but then you have to step into it. You have to step into it as your avatar self. You have to be willing to make mistakes as a human while you do that and embrace the whole spectrum of life. And you live by your image. So the way we create this impact, like you mentioned earlier, Greg, too, is, living by your image and living by This is my vision, and this is who I'm talking about with people of like mind in my vision, and this is what we're doing to cause this vision, and this is how we're playing in that playground. And yeah, we're aware of the dark. We see what's going on. We learn from it. We see it a little bit, but we're not going to just get lost and wait for something to happen for us or blame it or create more negativity. We're just going here. And where am I going? Well, hopefully wherever your ideal vision and feelings are taking you.
Yeah, Althea, that's why we pay him the big bucks right there. That's great stuff there. Good, powerful stuff, Jarin. We're going to get to our intros, and then we'll continue with our amazing conversation here.
Okay.
All right. Get the music going. Rise TV is a barrier-breaking variety show about business and self-development, human evolution, with long-form conversations hosted by visionaries, educators, entertainers, Jarin Kenyon, Victoria Schumacher, and Greg Schumacher, with an incredible world-class game changers of friends and guests that have included speakers, influencers, musicians, entrepreneurs, doctors, hypnotists, authors, artists, coaches, and beyond. Our goal is to assist humanity in discovering their true potential, power, which is only from within. Through books, courses, schools, shows, seminars, summits, retreats, private coaching, and more, Team Rise will take your vision to a new frontier of quantum thrusting forward, a new way of living and co-creating on Earth. Victoria Schumacher, she's a manifesting generator in the CHD system. She is an active nurse for over 12 years. She's a wife, mother, warrior, and social butterfly. She's a believer in celebrating raw self-expression, investigating and tirelessly exploring all avenues of the truth. Victoria is also an ordained minister, along with her husband. So if you guys are getting married, who better than Victoria?
Wow.
Jarin Kenyon, he's a manifesting generator in the Cosmic Human Design System. He's a traveling motivational speaker, teacher, manifestation, and believes Cosmic Human Design is the internet of human beings. Jarin studied from a pilgrims to India with Guru Dr. Pillai. He then became a life mastery consultant through the Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor organization. He also holds strong wisdom in quantum physics and Nikola Tesla mathematics. Jarin, as a coach, gives you lifelong tools to keep you ascending into your life with ease. Work privately with Jarin. Jarin at JarinKenyon.com. On to you, Jarin.
All right. Mr. Greg Schumacher, projector in the Cosmic Human Design System. For all you all out there new here today, Cosmic Human Design is not your standard human design. We are using true sidereal astrology. The 13 signs, the accurate constellation sizes, just like they are in the sky, and the precision of the ever-changing field or mirror of the sky that we have. We are not in the same times as thousands of years ago, so we have to rotate the clock, the dial, get the correct sizes, and then we see our true self, our real self, not the false tropical astrology paradigm we've been taught in the past. What is actually real? So with the Cosmic Human Design System, you can discover your true self for the first time in this planet's history. So check it out at cosmichumandesign.com, and or you can reach out to us and we can give you a quantum jump in your authentic self, and then how to create faster, quicker, easier, and avoid a lot of conflicts by becoming who you really are. Greg is a projector, an architect, a guide in that system. He's a visionary leader and a transformational business coach. Greg brings his clients directly to their inner truth and freedom of expression. That is the truth. Good statement there, Greg. Greg masterfully guides you to release negativity, doubt, and fear to usher you into a business and personal life of passion, purpose, and prosperity. Comes from a long lineage of inventors and innovators, which is quite the story, and he continues the tradition with cutting-edge ways of helping humanity. You can work with Greg privately or pick up one of the books on risemediatv.com, where you can also check out all of the great things we have recently updated. Greg's been at work really hard on that website. And of course, for today, stay tuned for our 3 segments. I'm going to be leading a manifestation moment, as always. Greg is going to take us through a Greg Schumacher experience. And the climax of the show at the end, stay tuned. Your happy Easter climax. Victoria will be doing the Sunshine News.
Wow.
Yes, she will.
The pressure's always on, Jarin.
Yes, and if you go to risemediatv.com, there's a visionary library as well. Lots of really great information in there if you guys want to learn about cosmic human design, pyramids, all kinds of different things. I have lots and lots of information over there, so it's fun stuff to learn and to open your mind about. We'll get to Althea in just a second, her intros. I just want to remind you that on Wednesday nights, live, we do our School of Om co-manifestation and co-meditation events. They are wildly popular. Everybody's really enjoying them. And, of course, Emily joins us for those. And they are a lot of fun and always an adventure. We take you on all kinds of adventures, including being a dolphin, including jumping to the moon, including lots of other things like that. So we have a lot of fun over there, including chants as well. Jarin loves his chants. So we have great stuff. And
Greg,
ahead,
I just like to mention, like as you said, it's wonderful. It's one of our favorite times of the week, and it's growing in momentum. It's growing in number, and most importantly, the quality of the people that are here, the quality of the people that are gathering in collective field together. We are using true tools of consciousness to be able to help create our own individual lives, as well as our group and tribe together and out into the world. So it's a great experience every Wednesday night that I'm encouraging new people to check out. If you head to the School of Om, you will see many meditations we have done. They're all listed there, and they're all different. As Greg mentioned, they are different, and they all have a different flavor that might be interesting for each person out there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They're free, so why not?
Absolutely. And maybe we'll do a little light language on there, too. Maybe we can get Althea to do that for us. All right. And we also have the Rise Code coming out very shortly, the 9 Steps to Ascension. It's on pre-order if you want to go over and check that out on risemediatv.com/the Rise Code. All right. And then let me get to Althea's stuff. All right. As I had mentioned earlier, Althea is a light language channeler, galactic contact, Ashik and a psychic healer, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini yoga teacher, tarot and Donation astrologer. She was born in Italy and has traveled and worked her craft worldwide between Italy, France, India, New York. What do you mean New York? We're in New York. Eventually settling in South Africa. She's best known for her amazing light language videos on Instagram. If you want to go check out her Instagram, that's at Lightcodes, BYALA. Lightcodes, BYALA. So that's amazing there. And let me grab her website quickly. All right, I'm going to have to crop this in just a second. But over here on her website, she has all kinds of things to offer. Althea, you have lots and lots of different things for everybody to sink their teeth into. What's one of your most popular places people like to do as your
So I do offer channeling classes. So I offer channeling master classes so people can learn how to channel and connect more to higher versions of self. I do Akashic readings and clearing. So I'll go into the Akash, clear the timeline, collapse it, and make sure that the programming and the traumas, are released and are neutralized. And then I also train light workers. I bring them through 6-week or 6-month programs as well. So that's kind of like the main things that I do. I do light language activations, light language clearing. I do written codes as well. So I offer quite like a wide range of services, and then depending on what the client's needs are, then I can assist them. So I also do kind of like one-on-one coaching and things like that as well.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, you have a really beautiful website and very simple for people to go over there and look at everything that you do and decide what they'd like to do with you. Everything's in the links below, but if you want to go to her website, it is ALTHEALUCREZIA.com. So you can also go to her Instagram page and just click on her link tree as well. Yeah, amazing stuff here. Love what you're doing out there, and it's very necessary for everybody out there to, open themselves up, and if they resonate with you and want you as a coach, it's amazing. And I'm sure you'll be able to unlock all kinds of great things. What's one of your, like, I guess, wildest stories of like a client or something, what they kind of found out about themselves or anything like that? Anything that you can remember?
Sure, I've got a lot. I tend to get clients from all different kind of like aspects and background, if it makes sense, but I do see collective themes coming in. It's interesting when I have clients who are meant to be activated in light language, and there's a few of those videos on my YouTube as well, where they physically start activating. So they'll physically start like, clearing, releasing, convulsing, and removing energies. I clear a lot of entity attachments and things like that from people. So that's kind of something that's quite crazy. And a few of them every now and then allow me to film the sessions so that, I can share it and people can, see it. But I mean, all sorts of, like, I've had a lot of clients that have had a lot of like traumatic memories, like war or murder or being murdered or being murderers as well, for to some extent. So it's kind of like never a dull moment every time I enter and access, the Akash, or their galactic memories or their earthly memories. I mean, it's all the same, because when you work in the quantum realm, there's no limitation of time. But once you access, let's say, those kind of like blueprint informations of the clients, it's really, it's really a very vast scenario. But mainly I would say, like, people with like extensive trauma and things like that generally have had programming in different lifetimes. So it's very beautiful when you can help them clear that, and then they really start shining through. But all sorts of crazy stories that have been around, like dragons, fairies, and it's all real. Like that's the best thing I can say. It's all real if you can think it and you can imagine it. It's existed in some space or timeline.
Yeah, I definitely when we talk about imagination as one of your I3 superpowers, imagination, it's been given to you on purpose to be able to, come up with these amazing things, in your mind and then go, well, that can't be real. I think there's a reason why you have an imagination and why you can think of things like that, because I think there is, obviously you can invent things and innovate things through your imagination, but you can also remember things that have been here before. And I think that I definitely believe in dragons. I think that's been erased from our history, but I think that's really, I think dragons you see throughout very ancient books and everything. They have a lot of stuff about dragons, so pretty interesting there. And when I worked with an alchemy guru, he had me actually slay a dragon that was attached to me. So pretty interesting stuff that goes on there. It's hard sometimes for us to live in a 3D plane, doing our ordinary lives, right? And just having ordinary small talk conversations, and then having all of this happen, where we can go into these conversations and these planes and these energetic fields and these dimensions. It's such an interesting place we live in, with the yin and yang of how different everything can be, and where we could go, where we could live, what we could be like as humanity. And it's just funny to me. Do you ever find yourself in a 3D conversation and be like, what am I doing right now? Why am I doing this small talk?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm kind of like not your standard example, because I live and kind of like breathe, this kind of reality that I'm in. I work a lot in the higher realms consistently. Like my day is not your typical day, like your normal person would be, going to work and things like that. I'm clearing people, I'm activating, I'm accessing records. So my more 3D would be probably the time I spend with my family. But I try to always stay out of judgment. So I mean, I think we can always learn from every experience, from every person, from every interaction that we have. But I must say that with this work and with raising my vibration, a lot of people who are maybe still stuck in different realities have shifted away from my own individual reality. So I wouldn't really, let's say, find myself as much in that, but I really enjoy doing normal tasks like grocery shopping and being human and being in the 3D, because I spend so much time in these other realms that for me it's almost the opposite.
Yeah, it's a grounding experience for you. You're actually grounded for a little bit and like, wow, look at that. And I think that, part of we get caught up in life, and especially like the ones that are still living this kind of dual worlds. We get caught up in not being grateful enough in the moment and blessing the things that happen to us, because a lot of times the negative can be a catalyst to amazing steps forward if we just look at it that way. We don't get in victimhood, right, and that type of thing. And I think a lot of people are stuck in that victimhood, and they get caught in these events and they just can't get out of them for years. They'll be stuck in one thing. They just can't move past a relationship, someone's death, a lot of things, they just can't move. And it becomes paralyzing to them. And I think that, we have to just allow the life to just be its flow and understand that things happen for a reason, and just go with it and just find the reason in it, and just feel it. And, be willing to change, be willing to move forward, be willing to see something different the next day, right? And not be stuck in your ways, stuck in your beliefs. You're able to, see many things. We love this show because we're so neutral. We love all kinds of guests. Bring it on. Like, what do you got? What do you got for us? Let's listen to you. Let's hear you. Let's have conversations, because it's amazing to learn new things and to see what other people see in life that you may miss. Because I think we're all prisms, right? We're prisms of light, and we shine in different directions. No, none of them is the wrong answer. We can all learn from the prism. So, Jarin, you want to continue there?
Yeah. I just quick message on the aspect, because I resonate a lot with the story of the daily life and then the other life. When you're in the moment, you want to enjoy it. You want to be present. You want to be grateful, and that's the truth. You've created that moment. You've chosen that moment, so you're in it, right? The other side to that also is, I think a lot of us are starting to use, discernment and exercise our free will of choice of self first, in that what experiences are really worth it to me and in my time. Because sometimes we're called into doing things to make other people happy, or because it's a normal routine that takes away from our energy and our time and where we want it to be. So as much as sometimes we need to do it and enjoy it and love it, sometimes we need to be able to say, no, I don't want to do this. This is going to take away my time. It's going to drain my energy, and then it's going to drain my energy. And it's going to affect me on other things that I have going on in the future, or I may have momentum built in what it is I'm doing on this area in life, and I need to go there, but I'm off having to do this. And so I just throw that out there just for the sense of remembering, kind of like recentering and saying, all right, which things do I need to get involved with, to make other people happy or to be balanced and holistic in life? And where also am I being a little bit overboard and it's not really for me now anymore, but I'm doing it out of autopilot or out of being some kind of martyr or feeling, being that character in the movie to make that person happy. And I think both are valid. Free will of choice and seeing where you are now, and then also just enjoying where you are, whether you're having some spectacular experience or whether it's some kind of, mundane kind of time, or whether you're in some kind of, dark situation. Like you said, Greg, there's opportunity everywhere, and you're learning everywhere, and you're having an opportunity to shift. You can harness the force and shift every moment, impact people, and learn a lot for your future. But it doesn't mean you need to be in all those situations when you start to take control of the programs and the loops that you're in.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, everybody, Victoria's getting lonely over there with all the chat boards. Let's get the chat boards going.
It's a holiday.
Let's hear from the star seeds. Yeah, but there's a lot of people watching.
Easter.
So.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, a lot of people watching. So, hey, listen, star seeds, say hi.
They're so absorbed into what they're listening to that they're not able to.
Don't be shy.
Comment.
That's all I'm saying. Don't be shy. Let's see your authentic self. Say hi.
It's an Easter Sunday energy. It's different. But thank you all for being here live. That's shout out to you, because I know a lot of you will be watching recording. due to it being family holiday and things going on. So you're not probably normally get to your Rise in the morning, but this one's a different one. So you'll see it probably this evening, tomorrow. We know you'll be here. But I want to thank those that are here, that are here. We try to show up regardless of what's going on, unless it's a real situation or a huge holiday, so that we can all be in the field together. And I appreciate the new people also that have come today and have connected with us. Please share it around. We only primarily use the Rumble platform due to YouTube not liking us, and we've kind of just decided this is where we're going to be. So share us around other places, and if you're not familiar, scroll through our page because you can see all kinds of different shows we've had. We had a wonderful show last week with Louis Herms, by the way. Truth to our manager, Screw Big Gov. Great dude, so you might want to check out last week's show if you hadn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when we talk about, holidays and all that kind of stuff, right? And, sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves with holidays, right? Whether it's, Thanksgiving or whatever it is. And what you want to do is just, you gotta approach it with miracles and magic, right? That a holiday is when people get together and they have some time to relax. They have some time to themselves. They have some time with family and friends. And it's time to just, really put a spin on life, right? And really look at it as an empowering moment that you can really do some great things with. I know people get stressed out with travel and with getting to places and having conversations they don't want to have with people. But really, get your mindset in the right spot, and it could be a very magical day for you, and you can do a lot of great things. So, all right. So let's get to Jarin's manifestation moment, I think. What do you think, Jarin? Do that one for us?
All right. Sounds good.
And,
do you did you see my text, Greg, by chance? Do you happen to have that Toroidal video, perhaps?
Oh,
is that easily
the minute
on
one?
hand? We haven't played it during the actual show yet.
Oh, okay.
And if you do have it, I was thinking of starting, the segment with it. If you don't, then that's all right.
I will have to look around for that. So maybe,
don't worry.
Yeah, maybe we'll delay your moment for a few minutes so I can get to that because you're not even edited in on your screen either. So I jumped ahead.
All right.
Let me ask you a quick question. So when it comes to relationships, right? You're a person that's very out there. You're very star-seedy. You're very galactic. It's kind of a hard match, right? To find somebody on this earth plane to really have good relationships with, and to find something that matches you, right? How is relationships for you? And what are some of the things that maybe some people that are like you, that are very unique and very our avatar can do to help that situation?
Yeah, I think the truth is a big one, like being in alignment with your truth and with what you feel on a physical level as well. If something is off, it's going to feel off on, your body's going to kind of reject it to an extent. It's difficult, but it's also at the same time, working on the human side of things. So yes, I mean, you can live in fifth dimensional density in your light body, in your crystal body, and be up here. But in the end, we are living in third dimensional density in reality as humans. So we need to embody the human part of ourselves as well, and through that be able to connect to other humans. It's kind of like the 5D aspect of it comes into play, but it's not everything, if you know what I mean. And I think when you start to understand and see the lessons, they tend to come through in a way that is almost more clear and quicker, if it makes sense. I'll just give you an example. All my closest friends are colleagues because it's people who are in my line of work as well. But you also want to be in a space where you're not really judging other people who are not, on the same vibration. Someone can be in fifth dimensional density, but be living a completely normal life. Let's say they're like an architect and they're a good human. They stay in gratitude. They're in a nice alignment and they're living a beautiful life. They're living in a high vibrational frequency, but they're not necessarily consciously involved in what would be the ascension, the awakening, and whatnot, it doesn't mean they're not going to go there. It doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to be there as well. So there's a big misconception of, oh, to be an ascension person, the awakening and whatnot, you need to, be doing energy work, or you need to be speaking about this stuff. No, like my closest friend, she is a beautiful being. She's a chef, and she's in a really good alignment. She's not necessarily an energy worker, but she's still in that 5D vibration and working towards it. Does this make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful the way you put that. I never really put that spin on it, but you're right. You're absolutely right. To be in 5D, you don't have to be this like person that's talking about all this stuff. You just have to be in the right alignment, right? With the gratitude and the way you live your life. That's amazing. I love it. That was great. Thank you. All right, I am ready for your manifestation moment. Jarin, would you like to play that video before or after you do the intro for manifestation?
Let's play it first, and then I'll feed off of it.
All right, so let's do this first. All right, here's a minute or so video that's really impactful, so pay attention because it goes quick.
It's sound that creates magnetic fields, and moving magnetic fields create electricity. It's in that order that creation seems to happen. So we don't live in an electromagnetic universe, we live in a magneto-electric universe. So magnets give off sound. We all know what speakers are. So there you go, you got electricity, it comes out of a plug, it runs down a wire, it goes into a speaker, a magnet, the magnet reacts, and the magnet makes the air move and creates sound. And the reverse is possible as well. It works one way and it works the other way. And this is where we start getting into the real understanding of some of the masters. Everything manifests as a torus in a toroidal field, and including sound. And this is what sound looks like when it manifests as a toroidal field. Sound, just like everything else, manifests as a toroidal field, as a torus. And this is why when our hearts beat, we create a toroidal field around our body. And that toroidal field creates an electromagnetic field around our body. And so it goes. This is what the toroidal fields look like, or that are created by the sounds we make when we speak. And phenomenal research and work has been done to show us what the different toroidal shapes and fields look like of different letters and different sounds, especially vowels. And then as we speak, these toroidal fields that we manufacture and we create with our mouths, infinite forms, infinite shapes, infinite creativity that we manifest, actually become scalar waves and scalar technology that go into all of creation and permeate all of creation instantly. It doesn't take light years for the thoughts we have or the words we speak to permeate all of creation. It happens instantaneously.
All right, and let me get to the manifestation moment.
That is one powerful video. We have played that during the meditation for people, but just in case people that watch the Rise show and have not seen that yet, I really wanted to put that there so that you have something to really see a snapshot of what it is that I speak of a lot, showing the power of sound to light. And I think it's so appropriate to talk about the power of sound and the power of our language and casting positive spells and all the way down to the core of light language. It's important to talk about today. And I think that for me, you can see how many different sounds can be made, right? Infinite amounts of sounds that create torus fields, create the magnetic fields, create electricity. And vice versa. The light also hits the magnets, and then the magnets create sound. So it's a reciprocal thing. But from the power of you inside out, let's talk about sound to light, right? And there is an infinite amount of expressions you can have. And your voice is manifesting. Your body is hearing you. And even if you're not saying it out loud, inside of your own self, as you talk to yourself, as your self-reflective frontal lobe is communicating to yourself, those are sound waves. Those are sound waves you're putting out. So you're in essence a vibrating sound that creates a visible light, which is seeing Jarin right now, along with your field that you're seeing, this movie that you're seeing. You're seeing a movie beyond the movie of the screen that you're looking at right now. That is coming from our sounds. And we can use sound to transform our life, transform our consciousness, manifest reality in an infinite amount of ways. However, the core roots, once again, of all sounds is ah, oo, and ma. Ah, oo, and ma. Make up Om. All right? Ah, okay, is the power of consciousness and intelligence. And in fact, when you speak ah, you light up your entire brain in seconds. In seconds, you can light up your entire brain. The only sound that's recorded thus far to do so. One of the reasons babies born making that sound, right? Mama, dada, the ah sound. Then oo is the power of action. It's energy in motion. Okay, so you have your yin and yang there. Consciousness and energetic movement. Frequency, energy, and vibration. And ma ties it all back together. It sustains. It starts to attract and morph and work with what's already in the visible universe. Okay, so you have this quantum power in you that's never been created, that you're echoing out, and it's also working with the environment and with the cosmos. So when you hear the sound Om, okay, what it really is I say it in that way just so you get the idea that it's not just Om and it ends, right? It's ongoing. Now, the Ma not only attracts, that M sound activates your mastermind or your third eye, where your higher self sits, your God self that can separate from the full story. Okay? So, 3 powerful sounds that you can use in your chanting practice without having to think or try anything at all. Simply to raise your vibration, to elevate your conscious thought, and to take control so that you are steering yourself so that the ego, the Maya, your karma, okay, all for other segments of talk, but they don't have you. You step into who you really are, and these sounds can help you do it. And all other sounds are a result of those sounds. In fact, you do not move your tongue when you make those sounds. And when you make other sounds, you do. But that gets different. It gets way more in depth than I understand. But there's your source. Now, what is the reason I'm saying it today? Not as much as in a spiritual practice, where I take you through it and we get all powerful and get into manifestation, but also just on a daily level of how we can help ourselves, our friends, our kids. If you practice what they call, these single word sounds, you can help your brain, your neural pathways in your brain synthesize, and all of your brains start to form together. So if a child or you out there chanted ah, even if it's just that for 10 minutes, you'd notice, wait, I'm calmer, but I'm still excited. I can think smarter. I can think the thoughts I want to think. They're fresh thoughts. They're not past thoughts. They're fresh thoughts. They're high faith thoughts. They're confident thoughts, and they're clear thoughts. And there's practices going on where they're doing this with children and helping to transform them much more than any schooling system could ever do through simple sound technology. So finally, I'll just give the practice I've given often before, just the simplicity of it. Okay, so for a practice for yourself, using these 3 sounds, of course, there are many, many, many more. You can exaggerate each one individually into a little 3, 6, 9. Our vibrations are all already rising, and our body is lighting up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ma. M sound is activating your midbrain, your pineal gland, your higher self, the real you. There are many practices, but a simple sound technology to raise your vibration in the moment, gather your consciousness so that you can control your thoughts. And then you can put your own language, English language, into your intentions, into your manifestations. You can also put the sounds into your vision. So we don't have time for that today, but if you picked a manifestation, you could see it in your mind's eye. You can put the sounds into the vision. And now you're really amplifying creation, using sound and light into creation. And use it for helping you when you become crazy, you feel like there's too much going on. Use it when you feel like your vibration is lower and it needs to elevate. Use it when you're not feeling well, or use it when you're in already superpowered trance of creation. You're already inspired and you want to amplify it. Many more sounds out there, but those are three of the core 369, think of the Trinity sounds that make up Om, which is the hum of the whole universe. So I encourage people to practice that. Do it by yourself. I know those of you out there that are noticing its effect. And see what happens. See what happens in your life if you do it for 15 minutes a day for a week. See what you notice. See what starts to change. And this is just one example for your manifestation moment practices. And that's it for today.
All right. Thank you, Jarin, for the manifestation moment. Amazing stuff. And if you want more of that stuff, you can tune in on Wednesday nights for our co-manifestation events. All right, Althea, when we talk about manifestation, right, and getting people to kind of create the world around them, what's your thoughts on manifestation and how you might train a client?
So I work with 0-point neutrality, and this is just kind of like what I explain and my take on it, working in the quantum realm, because, you know, it's all fine and dandy when you're trying to do it in the 3D realm, but it's very slow. So you want to be able to manifest outside the constraints of time and space. So this is a technique that I use and I teach to my clients. So I like to use the example of abundance and financial abundance because, you know, it is in the world that we live right now. So a lot of people come to me and they're like, you know, I'm not abundant. I want to manifest more income, more money, things like that. So the first thing I say to them is, why do you want to manifest it? Is it for buying a house, for feeling safe, feeling secure? Is it to travel, for freedom, or anything like that? And once they have that emotion anchored, then I explain to them, then what you do is you go into a meditative state and you reach a point which is called 0-point neutrality, where you are everything and nothing, and your vibrational frequency is neutral. So you can really, really be anything, and you're outside of polarity. Once you're there, then you become the emotion that whatever it is you want to manifest will give you. So for this example, let's say someone chose freedom. You start feeling the emotion of freedom within your heart center, but it needs to come from a space of want, not from a space of need, because the need puts you into lack, which puts you back into polarity, which puts you outside of 0-point neutrality. So it's easier said than done. It takes obviously practice, but this to me is the quickest way to co-create your reality and manifest and align, you know, with the timeline that you want, because it's also important to understand that all the timelines already exist. The timeline where, you know, you are abundant already exists because it's literally our birthright, first of all, to be abundant. We are all born abundant. And then all the timelines exist. You're not creating anything. You're just aligning with the timeline. And another way to be able to do that is, you know, when you're grounded and you're anchored and you're within the moment, then every decision that you make to an extent is divinely guided. So if you are embodied in the now, then you can see all the different options and all the different decisions that you can make that then bring you in a space which is of your highest alignment. If you're too busy worrying about the past or the future, you're going to miss what it is, and the direction to go down. So this is kind of like the theoretical way that I explain, to my clients when they ask, for manifestation and how to manifest and how to align with the higher timelines.
Yeah, very powerful. And it really is that emotion, right? You got to get in that emotion and feel it. Like it feels like what it would be. That's the thing. Like people want something, but they don't know exactly like how it would feel, and put yourself there and really get into that space. And like you said, you need to be in that kind of realm of like, I'm nothing and everything all at once, right? I'm just there. And then I can start charging, because you're so full of the past and the future and the expectations and what the disappointments. And, that's like something like, let's say bring money up for an example. People have all these hangups on it. They have all this trauma in it. They have all these, ideas of it, right? And it's all attached to this one little idea. And then you're trying to get beyond that and manifest through it. You're going to have all of this stuff come up, right? It's always going to be there, and it's going to be affecting your manifestation, because belief is a huge thing. And if you don't truly believe it in the core, which is where you want to get to that 0 point where you don't have those things going on, and then you can charge it with emotion, that's where you really can start to do the magic of life, right? The magic starts happening. Jarin, you want to add to that before I give another thought?
Yeah, I just you make me think of the two aspects of transformation, two of them to explain. One is you can amp up your voltage, right? So you get yourself stronger, you vibrate up, and you can rise above all those limitations. Your karmic subconscious program, your memory in your body, these things that may be holding us back. You can rise to that place when you elevate your vibration to where you can see things clearly, right? You step out of it all. You are nothing and you are everything, and everything is possible. And then there, right, the feeling is the key. Feeling is the healing. Feeling what it is that you're capable of. Feeling what it is that you're seeking to create. Feeling, from that place. The other side to it, besides amping your voltage up, though, is this cleansing that we're talking about. Letting go, which is kind of like if a light was in the room, but it has a towel over it, right? There's a filter over the light, so the room is not very lit up because of the towel. But if you take off your shit, take off the junk, pull the towel away, right? The light's always been there, but there's a filter, there's a limitation, and what that is imprints. It's imprints from you and from other conditioning that has limited you from your God spark, from your true self, and from everything is possible. And it's also the mind that believes in time, which projects time and causes us to move much slower. So clear off and enhance and get to a place where you are present and you rise more infinite, like that cross, so that you can see, oh, I'm feeling and creating this, but you got to get out of your old character to do so. And we can't just do it by positive attitude. We also have to release our what we're holding on to. We have to release and let go of what is not serving us, so that we can take the towel off of our natural light that we already are.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody stay tuned to the end too, because Althea is going to do a light language for us at the end. So be prepared for that. Ooh. That's going to be awesome. So all right. I wanted to ask you about the magic of life. What is magic to you? And you talked about your mother and grandmother being witches, and talk about spells as well, right? The casting of spells through our words, through our actions, through the way we do things. So kind of a two-part question there.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned through my own experience that the way you express and how you speak is so important. Like, this is just a small example. For me, I never, ever, ever lie, like ever. Like, I never lie. I'd rather say something and then, maybe the person that receives it. I mean, it's not really got anything to do with me how they receive it, but I'd always try to really, really be my truth because of the importance of words. So it's really important that we are actually mindful of the words that we use and the vocabulary that we use. And I think that comes a little bit, I guess, with experience as well. And I mean, by magic, I mean magic, energy, you can call it whatever you want. Like, I don't really see a difference between what would be magic and what would be energy. I do believe in the power of things like rituals, having an altar space, repetition, structure, discipline within the spiritual realm. And the reason I believe in that is because whenever you're putting energy into your spirituality, is energy that's going back to yourself. So it's kind of like a wheel. So you're putting energy into your spirituality and you're upgrading yourself as well. So there is an importance to whatever rituals that you have. I usually give my clients, a little bit of structure in the morning. So like whether it's like a little bit of a meditation or being in a space of gratitude, calling in your guides, like speaking your guides into existence, calling your guides within your reality in the here, in the now. A lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, my guides, they're not helping me. They're not assisting me. Yes, but are you asking them? Are you calling them? There is something that is called the law of non-intervention. Unless you ask your guides to come and assist you, they can't come and help you. So I really believe in the importance of the throat, the expression, the speaking your reality into existence. So yes, definitely words are very, very powerful, and they have to be used wisely. And a lot of the time it's better sometimes to not say than to say something and then speaking it into existence if it's something that isn't really in the highest of alignments.
Yeah, amazing stuff there. What's your thoughts on like how magic creates? Because we always think about magic as like pulling a rabbit out of a hat or some kind of thing like that. But like true life magic to me is when we speak things into existence, something we want to create, some kind of spell we're casting out to the universe to reflect back to us. I think it comes back to us in our life, right? We're going through our things, and we just got to be aware of things that are coming, opportunities coming our way, right? Opportunities where we want to act on, right? So the universe is going to present you with the magic of an opportunity from what you're trying to create. And it's up to you to grab that opportunity and to take it. What do you think about that in magic? Or is magic to you something a little different?
I mean, what you are speaking about to me would be more, opportunity or lessons. Sometimes the universe will give you something that you really want, and next to it, something that you think that you want. And then it's up to you, to make the choice and to walk down whatever path it is. I think, magic, I would associate with the co-creation of your own reality. That's kind of like the way I would express it. But also, like for me, I'm classically Reiki trained. I'm a Reiki practitioner. And in Reiki, they say, energy, universal energy. That to me is also magic. So I guess, it depends in what way you want to kind of use the term. And then, even like when it comes, as you said, to opportunities, to aligning with the highest timeline, I mean, it's all vibration, it's all frequency. So once you understand how that works within the environment and within your own energy field, then you can create and make your own magic.
Yeah. And that's, I think that people, with their belief systems, right? You have to have something tangible to like really think about and see how it's happening, right? To prove a little bit to people, to get them to move forward in it, right? Because people are stuck in their ways, and you gotta put it in my hand for me to believe it, right? And that's the way a lot of people are. So I try to find ways, and me and Jarin do, of teaching people that aren't quite there yet, like little things that can help them see a step forward, right? They can go, oh, okay, I see synchronicities in the world, right? Things that I didn't realize before, numbers that keep on coming up in my life. People who I speak about, and then all of a sudden physically I see them, right? That type of stuff, right? If we're paying attention, they're everywhere. But we have these reticular activation systems that we only allow to see certain things. We have so many sensories that we can pick up on in a moment, and we tell ourselves what things are important to us. If someone likes a certain football team, they're looking for the colors when they walk into a room. Oh, red and blue. Is that a Bills fan? Right? That's how we work. That's how our brain filters things out. So if we're not open to those type of things, we don't see them. We don't see the magic in life if we're not open to it. We have to open ourselves to that. So that's kind of what we try to do here. Practical magic is what we try to teach on this show. So people can they can integrate it in their life and then start moving forward with the right questions, the right ways of looking at life and opening those sensories up. Jarin, anything to add there?
I think once you have an understanding of energy, frequency, vibration, and consciousness, right? Both. Two sides of the coin, the invisible to the visible. And you know that in the visible, beyond the matter is the energy, right? And so Star Wars says it excellent, right? Harnessing the force. There's a force out there. There's a field out there. You know, they call it chi. They call it prana. It has many different names, but you're harnessing life force energy. And you can, as the observer, you create reality. And the observer, with their free will to intend and participate and move energy, can create things. So it's not just manifesting things, like Althea said, it's also healing bodies or a million different things, all because you're manipulating energy. You know, that's neither good nor bad. It can be both ways. And Dolores Cannon herself also mentioned many times that's why we're here, to learn and remember once again how to manipulate reality, which is simply learning how to harness the force, or just knowing that consciousness and energy are one and the same. And how can I transform it? Nothing is stuck. Anything can inevitably be healed. Anything can inevitably be manifested. Anything can inevitably be experienced. It's all in relation to how I align myself with that field and start to feel and see the conscious creation or intention that I have to do. And many of us we all have different abilities. Some of us are verbal. Some of us, it is more by our hands. Some of us, it is in, you know, the elementals of the world and alchemy, or it is in herbal remedies or whatever. There's a million infinite varieties, but it all goes down to that. You and the field, and the fact that you are one with that field.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone commented that, love you guys. Your messages are resonating hard with me. So that's great. I love when we connect that way. Althea, when we talk about synchronicities in the world, numbers, those type of things, are you looking for those out there? Are you looking for, you know, those type of, I guess, directional paths that you're going in the right direction?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that our guides and our higher versions of self can communicate with us through numbers, through the 4 elements, through animals as well. It's quite a big one. So when you're grounded, when you're embodied, when you're anchored, when you're present within yourself, then you're able to see. Again, it comes down to being, you know, in that neutral space within yourself. And yes, you want to be seeing numbers, you want to be seeing synchronicities, you want to be thinking about a song and then all of a sudden it comes on the radio. You know, when these things start happening, it means you're in a good alignment. I think it's also very important not to have any attachment to it. So like, oh my God, I saw number 1 and it means this and number 2 means that. No, just know that it is in a good alignment. It is your guides coming through. You are, you know, going in the direction that you're supposed to be going. And it is a kind of like reassurance. And then with that, there comes a space of surrender, you know, so you're surrendering now, you're trusting. You're like, okay, like I'm taken care of. Okay, this is they're showing me, you know, and then with that comes more the self-trust, the believing in the self, the believing in the message, the believing in what it is that you are receiving. And then this kind of like exponential mechanism starts also in your brain where you're like, okay, well, okay, they're communicating with me. Okay, now this has happened. It's a good thing. Now that has happened and this is going in that direction. So it's kind of like makes it a little bit easier, you know, the further you go on in your path, to be present and to understand these things. But again, it's really important not to get attached to wanting to know and wanting to interpret it, because a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, I want to know, does this mean this? Does that mean that? When the information is meant to come to you, it's going to come to you, you know. But yeah, definitely numbers, the 4 elements like fire, water, air, pets, animals. These are all ways that you can see you're in a good alignment and that your guides can come in and help you and assist you through.
Wow, good stuff there. And what do you mean when you say animals, pets? I mean, I've heard of spirit animals. What spirit animal would you be, number one? And then number two, what about pets in the house? What can that tell you?
So I work a lot with my cats and my dogs. I find that cats generally work in the higher realms, so they will come through and assist either in your astral space or whenever I'm clearing and I have particularly difficult clients, the cats will come next to me, they'll hold space. Sometimes they'll go as far as to physically like gag to assist me with clearing. So cats are very high vibrational frequency beings. Some of them are just cat souls having a cat experience, but some of them have been, more evolved souls that have traveled around and come back to assist in the form of, a cat. Not every cat is necessarily, a being that has lived on galactic planets and whatnot, but they are definitely playing a big role when it comes to ascension. When it comes to dogs, I find that the dogs are more for the grounding, the embodiment, the being present within the moment, within the now. And also, again, animals are always constantly communicating with you. They're picking up things before us and things like that. When it comes to my own personal guides, I work with all the feline beings. I work with snakes. I work with turtles as well. I work with owls. And then with the felines, lions, leopards, panthers, foxes, tigers, obviously cats, like I mentioned. I'll occasionally work with birds as well. And then I'll work with mantis beings. I've got a high version of myself, which is a mantis being that I closely connect with and work with a lot. Frogs as well. I get frogs to come in occasionally too. So I work with a lot of different animals too. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. We have 3 cats and a dog. What does that say about us? Our certainly, I see personalities in all of them. And our one cat is we just got him not too long ago, but he's a
Siamese.
A Siamese snowshoe Siamese. And he's got beautiful blue eyes, white fur. And he acts like a cat and a dog all in one.
And a lion, and I don't even know. He's got quite the personality. I've never seen in a cat before.
But I bet you if you met that one, it would be quite the experience.
Yes.
When we talk about, our pets, and they seem to be so important to us, they kind of become our children, right, in a lot of ways. And when we lose one, it's very, very hard on us. So in a house where you have those type of pets, even if it's snakes and all that type of stuff, is there, how do you harness that vibrational energy with the pets and kind of make sure that your household is a good environment for them and you're able to kind of, gain energy from your pets?
Well, you want to generally, even if you're not doing energy work, keep your house clear and cleanse it. Be careful and mindful who you allow in and out of your house, because that's a vibrational frequency in itself. The house in itself is alive. The land that the house is on, you want to make sure that's clear as well. So there's different ways. You can sage your space. You can work with salt. You can literally imagine white light around the house, or you can go around the 4 corners. For me, because I use light language. I use light language basically for everything when it comes down to clearing space and doing grid work and things like that. But for everyone who doesn't necessarily channel light language, yes, saging, and then silver rays, white light, and asking the animals to assist you, asking them, and you'll see, anyone who's got a cat, they'll know if a cat's falls asleep by your feet, they're actually clearing and extracting toxins by your feet. You get up on the chair, the cat will sit on the chair, it's clearing the space where you were in before. So you'll see it. I don't know if you can see behind here, I've got a pyramid, which is a copper pyramid that I work in. My cats will go in and cleanse it for me every now and then as well. So if you're careful and you're aware, you'll see how they work in the space and in kind of the infrastructure and the dynamic. Yeah, exactly, like that pyramid. So I've got kind of I don't know if you can see it. There
it is. Yep.
I'm where's mine?
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
You're.
Yeah, I don't know where you put it.
But so I always heard that cats, the way they purr, right, and they get on certain parts of your body and purr, that's also a way of them kind of honing in toning your body. Would that be something that you know?
Yeah, I mean, the way
vibration.
I see it is, especially if they're sitting on your chest, they're probably clearing your heart center or your solar plexus or your sacral. When they sit on you and they purr, they definitely hearing, they moving through energy for you. They transmuting it for you. So it's kind of like if it's a low vibrational frequency, then they transmute it into a higher, and then it releases from your system.
Wow, really cool stuff. And I think that people really love to hear about the pet stuff because a lot of people they're pet lovers and they're all across everywhere and they don't get to talk about it a lot, right? So it's something that I think that it's important to mention about all that kind of stuff and the energies. And now you can kind of pay attention more to what your pets are doing and seeing if they do patterns and certain things like that. So amazing stuff there. All right, we're going to get to the Greg Schumacher experience, and we'll come back and we'll do some more amazing conversation. All right, here we go.
The Greg Schumacher experience.
As the story goes, two directors are hanging out at the beach after their huge hits. One Star Wars and one Jaws. Steven says to George, I think I'm going to do a James Bond film next. And George says, I've got something better than James Bond. So what we're talking about is Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. And then was born Indiana Jones. So let's talk a little bit about Indiana Jones today and the amazing resilience and adaptability that he's so known for. Let's take a look.
Always knew someday you'd come walking back through my door.
Dad! Ah, Dad!
I'm going after that truck. Oh, I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
You know how to fly, don't you?
No. Do you?
Damn, I thought that was closer.
You call him Dr. Jones.
Why did it have to be snakes? Trust me.
So as you can see, Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones plays this hero-like person, but has so many flaws. Makes big plans and everything goes awry. And somehow he's able to adapt and overcome the odds every time. Whether it's 5 times or 15 times of things going wrong, he's able to continue to be resilient, continue to adapt, continue to find a better way, a new way. He's not complaining. He's not playing the victim. He's immediately looking around for the next plan of action. Wouldn't it be fun to be an explorer, to be a tomb raider, to go look for ancient treasures, look at ancient clues and ways of breaking into places and finding the gems and the jewels? Wouldn't that be a fun way of living your life? And through this, we can live vicariously in that type of role and see all the adventures he goes through, all the booby traps of the ancients have left for him, and even some spirits have left for him. So much fun to look at the ancient world and all of the things that can be uncovered, right? That's one of the things that's so fascinating about this kind of movie. And the other thing that's very fascinating is it's almost a dive inside of ourselves, right? It's showing us how to be resilient, how to unlock things inside of ourselves. Be a tomb raider in yourself. See all the ancient knowledge that you have inside of yourself and be able to get through those villains, those booby traps, those ways of distracting you, and getting through that. Keep on being resilient. Keep on being adaptive. keep on not playing the victim, but playing the planner, the next plan I'm going to hatch to get myself to where I want to be, the adventurous, right? The adventure of life. He looks at the life as a journey and a fun thing, right? It's every moment is adventurous. And that's sometimes the things we lack. We have this destination in our mindset, right? We have a destination in 2023 where we want to see ourselves, where we want to see the world, what we want to see happen to certain people at certain places and things. But the main purpose of our journey here is to enjoy life, is to enjoy the experience, and to overcome and adapt the villains and the mistakes and the traps and the distractions that come our way. Can we continue to be focused on our treasure that we want to get to? It's the journey of an entrepreneur, somebody who's starting a new business, somebody who's on this adventure with their passion, their heart, their life's work, and they want it to work so bad. And they're going to run into obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, right? It's not going to be a cave where there's a ball rolling or a boulder rolling your way, but it's much like that, especially on the inside. We have these amazing traps that are going on the inside, and we get beaten down by them. We get trapped by them for days, weeks, years. We get trapped by them. And this is just a lesson, once again, pulled out of a fantastic movie series, a lesson for us to be the adventurous, to not play the victim, to be resilient and adaptive, and really find our vision and achieve our amazing dreams. All right, everybody, this was Rise Studio G, bringing you the Greg Schumacher experience. Ah, yes, bringing back memories of when I was a child watching those kind of movies. So much fun. But yeah, I'd like to break down movies and see the messages that I can take out of them. And, I think that movie making, going and sitting and having an adventure in a movie is so much fun for a human experience. And to pick things out of them that can be amazing messages, as we said with Avatar, is so much fun. What movie or two do you really resonate with and enjoy as your human self?
That's a very good question. I really like period pieces. So anything that's been adapted from a Jane Austen novel, I really enjoy watching. I guess kind of like that, happy ending, reassuring feeling, I would say. But as you said, there's a lot of like beautiful messages. This one comes to mind that I actually mentioned quite a lot because of how I have been seeing and see the construct in the quantum realm. So I don't know if you're familiar with the film Lucy.
Yes.
The one I think, yeah. So I like to give this example because a lot of the time there's a lot of people who have been starting to activate and seeing through the quantum realm and the construct. And when it's that scene that she's in the car and she sees kind of like the timelines coming through and she works through them, that's kind of like what the quantum construct or the matrix construct appears like. So that's kind of like a good reference that I like to use for people whenever they need to like kind of understand. But I think that's not my human self. That's more kind of like my my work self. My human self would enjoy Yeah, something that really allows me to be, as I said, more in the human. But even then, like, it's very interesting because even when I do choose to watch a movie that is completely unrelated to anything that has to do with my work, the Ascension or whatnot, I will still receive messages in it, much like you just explained now in the Indiana Jones, that will align with either me or some client or some advice for someone that has come through. So they're very powerful mediums, the movie and what can come through and what we can anchor into our own experience and learn through them.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I did Lucy. I did a Greg Schumacher experience maybe 2-3 weeks ago on it. It's such a wow! What an amazing concept for a movie, and the things we saw in that, the brain power and what we can do if our brain just activates fully. It's amazing. That's so inspiring to me. Because that's what I love those movies, like where you just become limitless, right? I know that's what we can do. That's what I feel in my intuition. That 100% is what we can do. So it's amazing stuff. I'm a sucker also for rom-coms as well. Go ahead, Jarin.
I was liking your example with the obstacles people may come into. It's not going to be a gigantic ball rolling at you, but it'll be something else. You made me think of with this journey. It's like when we talk about manifestation practices or magic, or what I say, go vertical. That's one part to it, right? You're setting your destination and you're vibrating it. Then you're living, right? You're on the journey. You're in the drive. You're driving the car. And this is why we want to help people with the Cosmic Human Design System for an example, because your strategy, you know what your intuition actually is telling you. So if you're a projector, you don't push yourself into a new situation. Or if you're a generator, you don't try to initiate, and et cetera, et cetera. And so for those of you that are aware of this out here, this is the point. The point is so that you be yourself, and that so you do not have the same obstacles that you might have as if you were coming from your mind, rationality, or the wrong use of force, right? You could also chant a quantum sound or a light language of gum for Ganesh, right? For an obstacle. And boom, the obstacle's removed. Or you could use contrast and you could say, all right, I just have this ball's rolling at me. Something's not working, but let me look at what I do want from this. Like, let me flip it and let's use the contrast and say, this isn't for me, but what is my solution and where am I wanting to go next? And these are the kind of storylines that I'm just randomly talking about now that I was thinking of watching during that, because this is the stuff we want to know, and there's many other forms out there. I mean, obviously, I'm just speaking of what we know or I know and a few of them, but we can avoid a lot of those obstacles, or we could accept a lot of those obstacles and make them good. We can learn from a lot of those obstacles and we can walk through them, walk through the uncomfortable truth. Most of the time, people get stuck and do not go farther. It's like, do not pass go, right? Like, oh, the obstacle's there, I can't do it. Or the same obstacle comes over and over in the karmic loops over and over again, and you're not adjusting. And this is the game we're on right now. Like Frogger, bringing up frogs. Now I'm thinking about Frogger and trying to get across the street, and all these things are coming at you. And anyways, Jaren's rambling now, just like the movie talk.
Well, I know, like with let's say law of attraction, right? Your most powerful gift is to figure out what you don't want. That is going to be powerful. Like, I went through that experience. I know I don't want that again. And if you can tell that to yourself and really mean it, that's the discipline part, right? And be disciplined in, you're not going to go down that path anymore. I'm not going to date those type of guys anymore, whatever it is. Then you start to really form what you really do want, and you start attracting that. And that's very important. So going through the tough parts to figure out what you don't want is a very, very important thing. And if you don't know what a rom-com is, it's a romantic comedy. So I don't know, I said rom-com. I don't know if everybody knows what that term is, but those things are great sometimes. And I love, you notice a rom-com, it's all basically the same story, right? It's, you want something, but it's hard to get, right? Things happen, obstacles happen. You're constantly making a fool of yourself, and now the person doesn't want to talk to you anymore. And time goes by, you figure out yourself. Usually they become a better person by the end, and then they're able to be with that thing, right? That person, that thing. So that's how we match to energy. And that's what romantic comedies are showing you. Matching the energy field, right? Rising your vibrations by the end, learning lessons. And that's how we don't become a worse person at the end and get the person. That's not how it works. So pretty interesting there. Victoria. What's you've been quiet this whole time here, and your Sunshine News is coming up very shortly.
Yeah,
but
pressure's on to get this done.
In movies, what's like some favorite movies of yours that you've really kind of learned some fun things about life and maybe about yourself, or see yourself in a movie or something like that?
Well, we were talking about, the part and stuff, and I said I loved the movie The Goonies.
The Goonies?
The Goonies, growing up. There's a lot of things to learn from that.
Hey, you guys.
I know. But the kids, going through the adventure of trying to find the golden stuff, they all learned different things about their lives and relationships with each other, and just in general about what they once believed versus what they believe now, and what they're going to do moving forward and stuff. So it had a lot of good life lessons in there, and growth, I would say, within the short time that they were adventuring off.
Yeah, and when you have like a gang of kids that all have different personalities, right?
Yeah.
And they all kind of learn their own lessons through their own different ways. That's kind of how we are on Earth, right? We're all a community of different types of people, different types of things to unlock in ourselves, and different ways to do it. I know with clients, every client's a little different. You got to approach them a little different. When you say that, Althea, when you get clients, you got to kind of feel them out at first. All right, who is this person, and how do you reach them? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's always important to be in a space where you know that you are learning as much from them as they are, coming to you for a healing or an understanding or whatnot. And yeah, it's kind of like feeling in and being in a space of, okay, what does this person need at this moment in time? How can I best be of service to them in the time that they are spending with me? And I have to say, like, I've been very blessed and very grateful. I've had beautiful clients, beautiful people come into my awareness, and people from all over the world where I've learned so much. And it's very interesting because working on a lot of people like I do, I will see themes in the collective and things that have been coming up. So the last 2-3 weeks, for example, everyone has been clearing through their higher chakras. They've been clearing either through their nose or being congested or through their throat or with headaches or things like that. So it's quite interesting when you start kind of like anchoring deeper into the collective vibration, but also at the same time being in a space where you're still holding your own space for yourself, for your own healing. What happens with me often is whenever there is either a solar flare, a new moon, a full moon, or energetic things coming through, I tend to go through them a few days before the collective, so that then when the collective is going through it, I'm actually in a space where I can hold space for them. But for sure, definitely, everyone's got their own understanding, everyone's got their own experience, and we are all activating each other's DNA codes and light and information and structures. So even just by words, by speaking, even sometimes just by being in someone's field, you can activate. I've had clients hop on the screen, be completely fine, and after 2 minutes just start crying because of what was being brought up from a vibrational perspective. I've had clients where I've had other lifetimes with as well, where I've had lifetimes with in Egypt, or I've been with them in Atlantis, or things like that. So it's very, very beautiful, and it's a constant learning curve for me as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're 100% right. You learn about yourself as you teach, as you coach. The different people bring you different ways and avenues of looking at things, and you're like, wow, I never thought about it that way, or I've unlocked something inside of myself, and you're telling them thank you. And they're like, well, thank me. Like, yes, you've done something for me magically. Jarin, the same thing with you with clients and stuff like that. Are you seeing different ways to approach them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do notice the patterns as well. Like you're saying, there's individual things. There's an individual timeline. And then there's also the collective energetic timeline. And, a lot of us go through similar things at similar patterns, which is why we understand things. We have many planets in true sidereal astrology that have been in Pisces. So as far as the emotional or higher chakras come in, that's been one of the patterns. But, I think it's wonderful that you need to have your values and your tools and how you approach life be, somewhat solid. You're structured, you're centered, you have your ways, but you have to morph and be open and feel what wants to happen in the moment, and feel what needs to happen in a moment. Sometimes it may take a lot of active energy from a coach or a healer. And sometimes it might just be like being receptive and listening, or sitting there like, you mentioned, Althea, you're just sitting there. And this is the beauty. It is DNA code upgrading and patterning. And that is what the Cosmic Human Design System is. And we transcend time and space. So there is a lot of power being in the physical space electromagnetically within people. You can catalyze things, but also we traverse it even through the screens here. We can, just by our image, and so sometimes with some people, there's necessary ingredients going on that can cause transformation without even having to speak. But it's like I'm in an adventure every day, I know, with my coaching, both of the person and what we're going to do, and then also of myself with what I'm at or how I'm going to react. Sometimes I'm like, why did I just say that? Okay, where's this coming from? Or like, well, that was a thing I forgot about for 10 years ago. Where did that just come back into, But you can only do that if you're in the game, the moment of the game, the moment. That's what, and I've heard, and Althea mentioned that a lot today, being in the moment. Because if you come at it with expectations or attachments and you want to control how it's going to go, you limit the quantum possibility. Your ego is in the way. So you need to be present to what wants to happen. And likewise, people out there seeking healers and coaches and teachers, we all have them. You have to be open. If you come in and you're holding on to an agenda or an expectation, or you're not letting go, you're missing out on the opportunity. You need to become completely vulnerable and allow what the moment wants to happen.
Yeah, and I notice even with this show, we have a structure to it, but it's also free-flowing at the same time. And that's really where you want to be, because you want the moment of creation to happen. You want things to happen. I don't have a list of questions I just have intuition that tells me what to say next. I just know it comes up. It just pops in my head. Oh, that's the question. Okay. So that's how it flows on this show. We use intuition. And the same with our co-manifestation events. It's a lot of intuition. It's very little structure, a lot of intuition. It's also, we've had years of experience on the air as well. You get the nervousness out of the way, the mistakes out of the way, that type of thing. We had a learning experience as well, so that we're able to, in the moment, make a mistake and keep going, right? I remember my son, he's 13, he's learning the guitar. He's on stage, he's playing the guitar. His first couple of concerts, he would make a mistake with the guitar, and you'd see him shake his head and get all upset right there on stage. And I said to him, just go with it. Just flow. Just flow. No one really is going to notice. They're not guitar players. They're not going to notice. Just keep going. Just make it look like it's part of the act. And he's very comfortable. He's doing it. He's just flowing through it, having fun. Now he's like moving with the music. So that's what we want to do in life. We want to move with the music, understand that mistakes are going to happen. Just keep moving. Just keep going. Like you trip a little bit, you just keep like that was part of your beat, So yes. That's the type of things we need to learn, that we can it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. It's the idea that you can just keep moving forward, just keep creating, just keep being that amazing, authentic self you can be. That's really where we want to be. So amazing stuff. I think we're almost ready for the Sunshine News. I don't want to pressure you too much. All right.
I think I'm good.
All right. So we're going to get to the Sunshine News, and then after that, we're going to close out the show and be able to do our light language. So really looking forward to that. All right. We have some fun with the Sunshine News. So you can even speak in the background if you want to comment on something. So here we go. Everybody, Victoria and the Sunshine News. Spirituality. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria and the Sunshine News.
Hello. Happy Sunday, fun day, and happy Easter if you celebrate. The Easter eggs symbolize our ability to break out of the hardened, protective shell we've surrounded ourselves with. It is the 99th day of the year, and we have 266 days left, 15th Sunday and 15th week, 21st day of spring, and that means 73 days left until summer, 35 days until Mother's Day, which is May 14th, and 70 days until Father's Day, which is June 18th. I don't know. So, Easter is a pagan fertility goddess of the humans and crops. The traditional colors of the festivals are green, yellow, and purple, and the symbols used are hares and eggs, representing fertility, because we all know that bunnies breed like, well, rabbits, and new life. Yet another thing the Christians stole, but it's still a day to celebrate, whether you are Christian or pagan. National Human versus Humor Month. Why did a rubber ducky cross the road? I don't know, to see the rubber chicken. April is National Humor Month. Humor plays an essential role in our overall health. The ability to smile, laugh, and play is directly related to the way we express our personalities. It's one of our most redeeming qualities. The more we laugh to ourselves or at ourselves, the better suited we are for the world around us, too. Jokes and general silliness help to increase our heart rate and blood flow. Woo! Whichever way you want to go with that one. Oxygen, bringing oxygen to our brains and vital organs. A sparkle dances in our eyes as hormones flood our bodies, reducing pain and stress. Just make sure that all that hard laughter is not at bedtime.
Yes, the laughter is very good for us, raising our vibrational levels. I love laughter.
Yes, except when you're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, you do that. You start giggling before we fall asleep.
And then I don't stop. It is also National Garden Month, since we are in spring. During National Garden Month, we gather up our tools. You have permission to get dirty. The month-long observance brings gardeners, gardening groups, and those new to gardening together to share tips and offer support for a bountiful season. And all the lovely, awesome things open up. God, I'm having a brain for our farmers markets. There you go.
Farmers markets? Yeah.
Yes, farmers markets and greenhouses and nurseries and all the fun, beautiful flowers.
We live in the Northeast, so this is like a huge thing for us when spring hits.
Yes, it is. It's great. I love it. All right, we have a few things going on today for National Calendar Day. I'll try to make this quick, short, and sweet. International Choreographing Day, Choreographer Day, National Balloon Ascension Day, National Law Enforcement Day. Appreciate those who protect us. National Clean Off Your Desk Day, which I probably should do. National Apricot Day, if you like that type of fruit. National Static Electricity Day. Static electricity is different from the electric current carried by wires through a building or transmits by the electric companies. Static electricity is produced when the positive and negative charges of an atom are out of balance. Gotta love those moments when you get static shock. Yeah. Especially when petting animals, they look at you like, what'd you just do? I'm like, it wasn't me, sorry.
I'm really curious on if you said it, avocado? Or
apricot.
Oh, apricot. Okay.
Apricot Day.
All right, I was thinking
related to the peach. The apricot's velvety flesh is quite
too.
similar.
Because you said fruit, and I was like, is an avocado a fruit or vegetable?
Well, now you have me questioning that. It's a vegetable, I believe. Yeah. I don't know. It's not like the tomato where you think it's a vegetable, but it's a fruit. And it is also National Unicorn Day, if you like unicorns.
Unicorns?
Yeah.
Nice.
Greg used to call me his unicorn once upon a time.
Unique as a unicorn, for sure.
Thanks. Today in history, 115 years ago today, International Milano was formed from a sheen of AC Milan, creating one of the most successful and most supportive football clubs in Italy and Europe. The strange name, International, came because the founding members wanted a football club open to all the brothers of the world, i.e. foreign players and not just Italians. For this, they chose the color black and blue for their jersey based on the backdrop of the splendid night in which their charter was formed. They have won 34 national titles and 6 European titles.
Wow. And I would say football is probably soccer out there, right?
Probably.
Yeah, in Italy.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right.
Not probably, definitely.
Definitely. We're the only country that has football.
Yeah, I know. Football is a weird formed ball.
By the way, avocado is a fruit. Technically, it's a berry.
See, there you go.
Really?
There's your answer.
Oh, no, I meant avocado. That's what I was
That's what he
wondering.
just
That's what I
said.
was confused. Yes, avocado is a fruit?
Stop mixing up your brain.
It's a fruit. Technically, it's a berry. It has all the
Really?
necessary components
It
to be
has
a
a
berry.
seed.
Interesting. Did not know this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the only fruits with the fat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, continue.
Congress launched U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal in a special session, bringing the 100th day of legislating aimed at reversing the economic depression in 1933. Let's see what they'll do moving forward with this next coming depression. The first Ford Mustang, your dad would like this, rolled off the assembly line at Ford Motor Company, the first sports car produced for a mass market, 1964. The first ever highway sign was erected on Highway 69 in Texas.
Highway 69.
It was erected on Highway 69. Go figure that one. Promoting the Tyler Civitan Club in exchange for their promise to pick up litter along a 2-mile stretch of the road in 1985.
Speaking of rom-coms, 69. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Dr. Antonia Novello was sworn in as a Surgeon General in the United States, the first female and Hispanic American to serve in this position in 1990. 64 years ago today. The Barbie doll made her debut on the International Toy Festival. The lifelike doll that looks like a young adult made the Mattel company, and Barbie a household name.
They've come a long way.
After
haven't they?
decades of criticism over the brand's lack of physical diversity, the company rolled out Barbie dolls with a wide variety of body shapes and complexions, and a collection that honors prominent women heroes. They also offer a bald doll for kids whose hair falls out. And they were first started in 1959. Yes. Good news. Melatonin, guys, is not just for sleeping. There's a increase in suicide rate and people harming themselves. And this might be
How old are you?
Seriously? This might be a goal in a good direction. So melatonin use associated with decreased risk of intentional self-harm. Treatment with melatonin was found to lower the risk of intentional self-harm among female individuals with depression and anxiety, according to the results of a study published in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry. Wow. Whatever. The study investigators suggested that sleep interventions could be used to reduce risk of self-harm in this population. Sleep disorders in younger individuals have been associated with increased risk of injury, falls, transportation accidents, and suicidal behaviors. Investigators sought to determine whether over-the-counter melatonin, which is the most common type of medication for sleep disturbances, was associated with a decreased risk of injury. I have the link if anybody wants the article. It's fairly long. I don't want to read the whole thing because time's running short. But very cool that there are more good things for melatonin if used in the right manner and not overused. I know some people who use it to fall asleep and are at like 20 milligrams. Yeah. Oh my God, that's excessive.
Well, there's a root issue there that they're not dealing with.
Yes, usually. But maybe this will help. And then moving on to the video that he started to play in the middle of my reading session.
Well, I have to get it prepared, and the volume is usually on.
62. What does it feel like to be
He asked her
62?
age.
You know what, I'll tell you what's interesting about it, and I just had this conversation with my daughter. The silver lining to age, because there's not many, truly. There's illness, there's, your body, everything. Wisdom. You no longer have to prove yourself so much to people, and the people in your life that aren't loving, kind, and respectful, you can walk away from instead of making the effort to possibly change them instead of changing yourself to fit into theirs.
What is the silliest thing that you've spent a lot of money on?
Oh, God. I bought a fountain.
Okay.
A reflex. I bought a fountain at an auction, and then I ended up donating it because it was ridiculous.
What about the best thing you've spent a lot of money on?
Travel. Always travel. anywhere, anytime.
If you could give one piece of advice to anyone younger than you, what would you say?
Be true to yourself. Don't be what you're supposed to be. Be what you want to be. And try to find the happiness in every moment.
How old are you?
62.
All right.
And then lastly, this one's going to take a hot minute for you, babe, because I know it's a Facebook post and he doesn't like those videos. But it's funny. Do you have any inspiring moments or any advice that you would give for your lifetime? Like she said, travel. Like what would?
Well, yeah, travel is amazing. Going on vacation is amazing, because it does change your patterns, and you're able to kind of re-explore who you are. Yeah, reset, re-explore. You're not stuck in your loops of your daily task. Even if you're a coach, right? You're just daily doing the same type of routines, so it kicks you out of your routine, and I think that's really good for you. So, all right, I got the video ready.
All right.
And Victoria loves showing pet videos, and we talked about pets on the show, so let's take a look. Oh my God! What the heck? Nice. Oh. Wow. That's great. Wow. All right.
Learn from your mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. And that is your sunshine news.
Spirituality. Okay, we are back to close out the show. That was some funny videos. Oh my gosh, pets or something.
Yes,
got quite the personalities.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so much fun. So we're here to close out the show. I think you want to do this at the end, right? So we'll close out, and then you'll do your light language right towards the end, so that when we go off the air, that was the last thing they hear. Is that how you want to do it?
Yeah, it's up to you guys. I can also do it now. The only reason I said at the end is because then people might go off and want to stay in process after the energy work. So it's, yeah, I really don't mind. It's only going to be a few minutes, but yeah, whatever works for you guys.
Okay, why don't we close out here, and then we'll have you kind of go off the air doing that. That'd be awesome. So, all right. So thank you for joining us for Rise TV. I hope you enjoyed your time here. This is our show, and I hope you enjoyed it there. And it was a amazing experience. I really enjoyed meeting you and creating with you. You know, you have so much to offer, and we really appreciate all you're doing out there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody out there who watches on Rumble here, please like it, share it around. You know, if you think you know people that would really enjoy this, share it with people, because it really is powerful information, and it really can change the world if we get this stuff out there. This is our mission as light workers here on the planet. So this is why we do these shows. This is why we put this stuff out there. This is why we put our authentic selves out here for you, to be able to help lift you, but then you can go and lift other people, right? And that's how that's going to work, multiply through our entire culture here. So amazing stuff here. Jarin, any final words?
Love today. Looking forward to this experience. And for everybody to sit in it, as you mentioned, great. More time, process it. And look forward to future events with yourself. And I also want to say we'll see everybody at meditation on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
The School of Om, more appropriately stated. So we'll see you all Wednesday there. And I hope everyone has a happy Easter.
Yeah, absolutely. And Victoria, any final words?
No. Happy Sunday. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Excellent. Yep. So if you guys want to go check out all her stuff, we have all the links listed in below, her Linktree, her Instagram, her website, all that kind of stuff. You can work with her in many different ways as a coach. And so really cool stuff there. She has lots and lots of things to offer. So go check out all her stuff. We don't usually close out the show with the guests doing something. So this is an amazing way to do something different. So explain quickly also before you do this, what you're doing, and then go into it. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a beautiful experience, and I'm very, very grateful for connecting and learning and being able to share, what it is that I've learned in my own experience through this platform, and, connect and communicate with your audience. So thank you for that. Light language is basically a combination of vibration of sound. It bypasses the conscious mind. It works directly on the DNA structure and etheric and energy body. You'll be seeing me moving, talking, speaking. It will sound like a language. Please don't try to understand. Listen with your heart center. Be in a space that, you are open for whatever comes in. I might be like coughing or just like making sounds. I'll be clearing energy for the collective. I'll see what is needed at this moment in time. I will say what I'm doing as I am doing it when the light language comes through. But the most important thing I would say is really, understand that this is the new technology that is coming in to assist the raising the vibrational frequency, to assist the planet, and to assist you guys. And even if you don't necessarily feel anything now, it doesn't mean that you haven't integrated, that it's not going to work on you. Some people integrate in their sleep. Some people integrate after 24 hours. So again, just really being open. And if you do feel like moving, jerking, coughing, gagging, burping while I'm clearing, please do that. It's also okay. It's like ASMR, so it can cause, an automatic sensory meridian response. So you can actually respond to it as well. Okay. Okay. So you can start by closing your eyes and anchoring into your body as you find a comfortable breathing rhythm. With every inhale, you breathe in light. With every exhale, you release all that no longer serves you. And as we call on the Archangelic Collective, Michael to the south, Uriel to the north, Raphael to the east, and Gabriel to the west, we call on Archangel Metatron with his blue cloak of protection from above, and Sandalphon to seal the grid from below. As we call on our higher selves, our spirit guides, anyone else who wishes to be present for the greatest and highest good, you're welcome in the space. Nataria siero tukura triete ara yes maroishera natria te ara yesera takra. Opening, 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 opening systems, opening, opening, opening. Tria siero tuk umara siera te cry, 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 siera ta cra treo tuk umara siera ta creo unara siera ta cra, triana trick oro trea sieta ishna te area ishera ta cra. Okay, I'm working on the heart center now. Tierra ia ishero tokura isiera ta cra, expanding, 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 pulling in more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 anchoring. Anchoring into systems, opening, 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 two more light coming in, anchoring, 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 crystalline codes, anchoring, anchoring, anchoring. Ishatekara isiera takra, nraya triotic umara isiero ura tria siera takreatic aro triena ratriat mera yasiera takria terasa, nia takre atre otukura yashira natria siero tuk umara tria try otukura yashia tekara. Releasing, 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 letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, removing, 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 removing all that no longer serves you, clearing, releasing, 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 releasing. I'm working on the peripheral and through the sacral and solar plexus now, clearing, releasing, 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 removing, removing, decording, detangling, letting go, letting go, letting go, calling in more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 golden rays into structures, opening, 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 activating, 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 activating. Takarai shirotokura isira takra, triata kre, tukumra sira tikaro ia sira takra, kra, kra, krai. Takuro ia ishira tikrua tria isharatera. I'm clearing the throat now. Taro expanding, expanding, expanding into more light, more truth. Codes of truth coming in, anchoring, 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 anchoring. Codes of knowledge. Tukura isira takra, codes of understanding, understanding. Understanding of universal laws, opening, 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 opening to more divine understanding. Tukuro isira tikira takra tre ke ukunara sira tra mria tre otukura isiaria tre aneo tukumara ishira takra. Letting go, 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 letting go. Anchoring, 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 more light, divine rays, anchoring, anchoring, attuning, 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 attuning systems, attuning, 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 attuning to more light, crystalline rays coming in, anchoring, 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 rainbow rays coming in, anchoring, 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 anchoring into more light. Aratriatic umarasieratic rotric artucura trieta rasierata crianata cra tre otuk anaria sierate ariaria ia isherotok expanding, 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 expanding systems. Takra isiero tokuaria ishera takra triate krua triena siera takra trokoro ishera takra. As we stay in a space of openness, we stay in a space of oneness. Yetokuro, we anchor into compassion, love, understanding, unconditional love for the self. Yetokumara ishera siera siera ta. Okay, boundaries, 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 boundaries. Anchoring, anchoring, anchoring. Anchoring, 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 anchoring codes of self-love, self-trust. Quiero tu kumra isiera takra, traya tria ishera triati karo isiat kria siet kraya chiera takria takriena takre. Patria ishnaya shira takra. As we let go, let go, let go, let go. Ishotokuna ratriate itmaishina takratrietaria ishera takratriate kiro tokura isira takra. We stay in a space of understanding. For the self, quiero tokuro ishira tikara isira takara. We open up to more gratitude. Quiero tokura isira. We open up to our highest timelines. Shira tokura ishira sira, as we anchor into unconditional love, unconditional trust. Quiero tokuro trua trieta krieta kratra trieta. We surrender and let go. We stay in a space of gratitude for ourselves, for our experience, for where we're going, for where we've been. We clear past, present, future timelines of what no longer serves us. So as we anchor into more unconditional love. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.